I'll just take a picture of you, and I'm planning to upload this on social media later on. Social media, and especially the ones that are not in the news for the bad reasons, are a quite good platform where you can share your information and keep in touch with your network and with your customers and partners. And the way we are using social media has been changing over the past year. So I've joined Vodafone about 3 years ago, and around that time, the updates on LinkedIn were about who connected to whom. But since then, the social media platform has moved on, and now we can read about any topic that is related to our work or that is not related to our work. We can see videos like rich content. We can upload posts about what we are doing, our activities. And essentially, this is going to be the first time that I'm taking a picture from the stage while talking and giving an instant update to my network about what I'm doing. So this is what digital enables. And as per the introduction, so my name is Csaba Kallo, and I head up the connectivity, mobility, IoT, and security portfolios, essentially look after all of the data products in Vodafone Ireland Enterprise. And I've been working with digital tools for at least 20 years in my working career, and probably many more years before that. And I kind of watched how these platforms have developed. Digital is not a new thing, so it is getting into the focus these days. But digital has been around for a very long time, and the way we are using digital technologies has been changing and evolving all the time. And now digital is again in the focus. And we are debating this, we are talking about it, and this debate actually generates thoughts and actually clarifies how we can make a better use of digital tools in our workplace. So today I'm planning to talk to you about my perspectives and my understanding of a digital workplace, and I will talk to you about what I think a digital workplace looks like. I will share my experiences in a digital workplace. I will talk to you about trends that are driving the adoption of digital workplaces. And I will give you a few tips about what steps to take if you want to start your own digital journey. So let's start straight away. And I don't have a clicker, so I guess, oh, it's on there somewhere. Oh, there, yeah, thank you. Okay, so I will start with what is a digital workplace. So if I wanted to give you a short definition, in my view, a digital workplace is one that enables its employees to use digital tools to improve their performance. So this can take on many different shapes. So to give you an example from my own experience, about 2 years ago, I stopped using a digital paper notebook. So I'm only using my laptop and my smartphone to take notes. And when I'm finished with, say, a meeting, I already have the minutes ready. I can share them with everybody on the project. And then later on, I can search those notes, even if I took them 2 years ago, very easily. I don't have to look up 10 different notebooks. So this is helping me to save time. But a digital workplace is much more than just this. So in a digital workplace, people are empowered to innovate, and they are encouraged to focus their attention towards the creative parts of their job. Digital tools allow us to automate, and through automation, we can actually simplify our work by not having to focus too much on repetitive stuff. That will be looked after by digital tools. We can focus on what actually is interesting, what actually needs creativity. And in a digital workplace, you need that creativity a lot, because when digital workplaces evolve all the time, and you need new perspectives, new ideas about how you can adopt new digital tools in your workplace. And when it is about creativity and brainstorming and defining new ways of doing things, it is always good to have new perspectives. And this is very much supported by a diverse environment, by a diverse workforce. So I was in Texas a couple of weeks ago speaking at the conference, and on the pre-conference day, I noticed their session, a workshop, and on the agenda, I noticed a title saying, diversity meets digital transformation. So I was very interested in this because both diversity and digital are really hot topics and really interesting. So let's see what actually they have to say about this. And the meeting was organized by the Women's Network, and it was a very interesting panel there. And one of the ladies on the panel was saying essentially this, that if you have a diverse workspace where the workforce that has people from different cultural backgrounds, different genders, different age groups, you can become more creative and you can bring together better ideas. You can combine ideas better so that they result in new, innovative ways of working. And also, on the reverse, when you have a digital workforce, digital tools help to support them in a much better way. They help our employees to work the way they want. And I will talk a little bit more about this later. Another very interesting area of digital workplaces is flexibility, flexible working, and improved work-life balance. So to give you another example from my own experience, my wife's company adopted flexible working last year. And this enabled my wife to work 2 days a week from home. Now, I have 3 children under the age of 10, and they all go to creche and to after school, the 7 and the 9-year-olds. And if you have children yourself, you know that childminding is so expensive in Ireland. So in my family, it is the highest cost in my budget, in my household budget. But now that my wife can work 2 days from home, that allowed us to reduce the number of hours that the kids spend in the creche. So essentially, we can now take the kids, instead of 5 days a week, we can take them into the creche only 3 days a week. And this not only had an impact on our household budget, but it also freed up a lot of time for my wife. So she can use that time for anything. So she's currently saving 4 hours a week on the commute. So that's, if you think about it, it's like a half work day. So she can do whatever she wants. She can relax, or she can do nothing, or she can do some work at home, whatever she likes to use the time for. But essentially, this has an impact on how she feels, and essentially, it has an impact on the quality of life of my family. So digital working and the digital workplace has a really, really important impact, not only on the workplace, but also on the private life of the employees. And it can help to have a happier workforce. And when you have a happier workforce, then you have people that perform better. So I could go on talking about various aspects of the digital workplace. I have a few more examples there. What I would like to highlight is that digital workplaces allow employers to extend their talent pool and to expand the geographical area from where they can attract talent to their businesses. So if an employer wants every employee to sit between 9 to 5 at their desk in the office, then, well, if the company is based in Dublin, they will be probably hiring people from Dublin. But if they let them work remotely, then, then there are no limitations. Like you can hire people from anywhere in Ireland, or maybe even beyond the borders of Ireland. So essentially, your talent pool has increased just by that simple fact that you bring in digital tools that allow people to work remotely. So moving on to the next section. So I'm going to now give you a few statistics about what is driving the adoption of digital workplaces. And the first stat, and by the way, these are not Vodafone stats. These are industry stats, and are definitely not Vodafone targets, right? So these are stats that you can find on Google or in market research reports. So these are generic stats. So the first one is that currently we have 5 generations working side by side in our workplaces. So you have the Generation Z, which is the generation that comes after the millennials. So these are people plus minus 20 years old. So they are just out of the education system. They are just starting their career. And then on the other hand, you have people that are closer to the retirement age. And as you know, given that life expectancy is extending happily all the time, the retirement age kind of tends to follow. And so we end up with 5 generations in the workplace. Now, those 5 generations have a different cultural background and different ways of working. And you need to accommodate them. You need to make sure that they can be effective, to do their work whatever way they like to work. And digital tools are a good way to make this happen. Long gone are the days when a career was or when a job was for a life. Today, according to industry stats, the time an employee spends in a job is about 4 years. So that means that employees need to be prepared that people move around quite often. And it's, you know that very well, that it's not a good thing when you lose an employee that holds a lot of your data and your know-how. So you want to keep them for as long as possible so that they can work with you. Now, in Vodafone, for example, we have, well, not a policy, but we are encouraged to change roles every 2 years so that we can explore new areas of our business, we can build up new experiences, and keep motivated and keep interested in what we do, and contribute in different ways and from different areas to our business. And this helps people stay longer, because they can build a career without getting bored or burnt out, because they can move around and do something else, do something more exciting. And this is very much supported by digital tools and digital workplace, because especially the newer generations, they grew up with the internet and they grew up with technology and smartphones at their fingertips. So they expect that sort of technology to surround them, even in the workplace, not only when they go home. 40% of the workforce today is made up of consultants and project workers rather than permanent employees. So this is, again, like a countrywide stat, so it's not for some specific company or anything. And contractors bring in their own laptops into the workforce, and they may be working at multiple companies at the same time on similar projects. So you need to make sure that your data is protected and data is not mixed up between different companies, and definitely it's not leaking out. And again, digital tools, cybersecurity tools and applications can help to create a safe environment for everybody to perform their work effectively. The other stat is that by 2020, 70% of the organizations will have some form of smart working. I explained that to you earlier, that when you have workforce that can work remotely and that can work the way they want, they are more effective to get their jobs done. And again, you probably want to make sure that you have this capability in your business, because otherwise you might have more difficulty attracting talent to your business. So I have many more stats here about 20 billion connected buildings or connected devices are expected to be out on the market by 2020. And this is interesting because the more devices you connect, the more jobs you can complete remotely. So say, for example, if you have a field force and they normally visit devices on field for maintenance and repair, now if the device is connected, you can just log into them remotely and get the job done quickly, and you don't have to spend time traveling. And there are many others that I'm not going to go through because I'm conscious of time. But yeah, I probably gave you an idea about what digital tools mean for building a digital workplace and what sort of drivers are behind the adoption of it. So the third area I wanted to talk to you about is the benefits. So again, you probably are already getting an idea about what the benefits are, but I grouped them like in 3 areas. So first of all, in a digital workplace, you can reinvent the way you work. You can make your employees collaborate better. You can let them work from anywhere at any time that suits them. And you can help them, you can increase their engagement, and not only your employees' engagement, but also your customers and your partners' engagement. And essentially, you can do many great things that in a more manually focused workplace, you don't really have access to. The second area is about access to information. So in our society, information is almost like gold. So if you want to do anything, you need to have a good understanding of what you will have to deal with. There is a huge amount of information these days inside the organizations. There is even more outside on Google. So you need to make sure that you are making the most of it. You need to make sure that you have an online presence. You can be easily found by customers, and you make it easy for them to deal with you. And this is, again, enabled by information that is available through digital tools. Information processing, automated information processing, can give you a huge boost of productivity. And it can help you spot trends in the marketplace and seize opportunities. The third area is then how to be ready for anything that comes in front of you. Like, the future is so unpredictable. It's hard to make like a 5-year plan. You are doing well if you can make a 3-year one and get it right. So you have to expect that you will have to deal with the unexpected. So how can you prepare for that? Well, by using information, by processing information, relevant and timely information all the time, which is, again, enabled by digital tools. So before I close, I would like to give you an idea about a few steps that you can take to start your digital journey if you haven't done it yet already. So, but I want to emphasize that, as I said it in the beginning, that digital is not something that happened today, not even yesterday. It started around the 1950s when analog technology started to be replaced with digital technologies. And many companies have been adopting digital technologies all the way. So what we are experiencing today is a new focus onto digital and the digital workplaces. And essentially, we are generating a lot of debate about it so that we can understand it better and make sense of it in the new context better. So the 4 steps that I would suggest you to consider if you are considering, taking on a digital journey is that, first of all, identify your digital objectives. So what is it that your business wants out of a digital transformation, and what actually your business is trying to achieve that digital could boost? And this could be anything from, revenue growth, margin growth, customer engagement, employee retention, whatever you really want it to be. And then you need to move on to the second step where you prioritize them. And you make sure that you are focusing first on the ones that have the most impact on your business. And you should set up performance indicators so that when you deploy them and after you deploy them, you can understand whether they made an impact or not. And make sure that if they didn't make the impact that you wanted, fail fast rather than just drag on. Get rid of it, bring in a new one that maybe will go well next time. Once you deployed your digital platform and you are up and running, you need to make sure that you can maintain it and you can keep it relevant. So that means that you need to have processes and policies in place to replace the old with the new, and to keep both the old and new platforms working together at the same time. And you have to do this in an agile way, which means that every time you deploy something in small packages, you make sure that it delivers impact on your business straight away, not 2 years out. Right? So it has to be immediate, and you have to be able to measure it. And then the third area, which I think is really, really important, is the cultural part. So every digital transformation, every transformation means change. And that means that your people will have to replace old habits with new habits. And this is not an easy thing to do. So that means that you have to drive this. And you have to drive it from the top down. And all of the layers of your organizational hierarchy have to be bought into this. And that means that you have to repeat your message again and again. You have to make sure that your employees understand what the benefits are of that transformation towards the digital workplace, and that they embrace all those values and benefits. And then you have to repeat it again and again and again until everybody gets on board and they actually replace their old ways of doing things with the new ways. So actually the new takes hold as the norm. And remember that people adopt change at different paces. Some people are very forward-looking, they embrace it straight away. Others will take a little bit longer. But you have to make sure that everybody is on board in this case if you want this to succeed. Now, I would like to close with this quote. So as I said, I was speaking at the conference a couple of weeks ago in Texas, and I took a walk at the campus of the University of Texas in Austin, and I noticed this quote on the wall of a building that says, "O Earth, what changes have you seen?" And this quote is from Lord Tennyson from 1849. And this actually got me thinking that while we are talking so much about change, and we think that, we are dealing with something new. Well, change is not new. Change has been here all the time. And people have always been focusing on change and how to address it and what impact it makes. And what is happening today is just business as usual, really. But it's in a new context. So actually, you can tap a lot into your experience with previous transformations and previous changes in your business and try to learn from them to make sure that you are using your learnings and you are bringing your new digital transformation to success. So thank you very much for listening to me. I think that we are looking forward to an exciting future, and please act now and be ready for it. Thank you.